Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
You're here with Jill and Rami of twinflamehealers.com, and we wanted to come and do another healing video with you today. And this one is for twin flames as well as non-twin flames. We know we're in just incredibly intense times on the planet, and twin flames are used to being in the pressure cooker, right? Our whole journey as a twin flame is a pressure cooker. But what's happening is everybody's in the pressure cooker right now. We're all being squeezed. So it's just such a crucial time to do our healing work to clear out that which is no longer a fit for us. And relationships really are one of the biggest areas where our shadow shows up. We carry a lot of our deepest shadows in our relationships. And most people are walking around with at least one, but oftentimes a number of relationships where they're still holding anger, blame, resentment, guilt. So most of humanity is walking around with unhealed relationship energy, and we see that show up everywhere. And unhealed relationship energies don't just show up in your relationship. So obviously it's going to show up with your twin. It'll show up with other loved ones. But it also just shows up in your own life more generally. So even if your focus is not on a relationship, it shows up in your mission, it shows up in your health, it shows up in your general well-being. So our perspective is it's really, really important to heal all our relationships. I think that's all I want to say. So this video is going to be experiential, very experiential. We're going to take you quite deep. So please only watch or listen to this when you're in a place where you can receive. Because we'll be doing a couple exercises, visualizations, etc., where you need to close your eyes and be within. I think that's all I want to say. So we're going to start with the initial clearing with Rami, and then we'll dive in.
Okay. So let's ask Lords of Karma and Archangel Michael to clear the energies around you, in your home, in your energy field. Clear it for the people that are living with you or they're closely connected with. Imagine becoming more peaceful. It's easy to lose our grounding in difficult times. So let's do a little bit of that. So let's ask to clear the energies in relation to your sacrum, your legs, your ankles, your feet, the space below your feet. Imagine strength coming in. You can ask for Durga or El Moria if they fit for you, to bring power into that area, your lower half. Okay, now let's focus on your heart chakra. Breathe in and out through there. Now imagine light coming in from above, from the divine or from sunshine or whatever feels right for you, into your heart chakra, center of your chest. And fill up. Imagine the energy continues to come in, but just overflows into your body. Fill up your whole body. Think of the energy as being nurturing and healing. Imagine it goes into the base of your spine. Clear away fear. Imagine it goes into the mental level, our perceptions of worry and so on. Have it go into the mind grid, and clear. If you have any illnesses or whatever, have the energies go to those areas. Imagine these energies going to your loved ones. And fill up your home. And this light goes more broadly and brings peace and calming. Bring it more deeply. So if you're Christian, you can think of it as Christ. If you're Hindu, you can think of it as Krishna or whoever. Just do what feels right for you in terms of the types of energies you bring in. But you can experiment and see what works better for you. You can try what we're proposing. Bring in your own, and the more we experiment, whatever, to the degree that feels right for you, it gives you a broader range of choices and a capacity.
Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about relationships overall before we get into the healing and our perspective on that. So our perspective is that all relationships are soul relationships, that they're not random. They didn't just drop out of the sky for no reason into our lives. We, as souls, are choosing these relationships. And all relationships can be healed, all of them. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to want to go on vacation with your mother-in-law or move back in with your ex or invite your kid that's given you a run for the money to live with you again. But we're talking about energy. Because from the perspective of the soul, we see that, and I've worked in the Akashic records for close to 2 decades now, so seeing things from a very different perspective, from the level of the soul, from a higher perspective. So our ego, of course, wants to see these relationships as we're victims or whatever, but from the perspective of the soul, it's very different. That we as souls chose, with agreement of these other souls, to come down and create these different templates and patterns with each other so that we could learn something, we could heal, we could grow and expand, because that's what Earth's about, right? Our ego then forgets all that and says, they're a terrible person and they did this awful thing to me and I'm a victim. And on this level, yes, terrible things happen. And at the soul level, it's not so terrible. And every relationship, especially the most difficult ones, can bring us the most growth, the most healing, and the most repair of the past. And before you think, well, you guys must have had it easy, right? We didn't. And I mean every relationship. We both went through sexual abuse as kids. Rami had a very neglectful childhood. We've both been through divorces. We've raised kids. We've had the whole enchilada in terms of difficult relationships. We really have. and it is possible to get even to that level, to get to a place of peace, healing, forgiveness. And sometimes with some relationships, it'll turn into kind of a neutrality, right? You just will kind of lose that energy with them and you can take it or leave it. For other people, you'll be able to get to a place of true unconditional love. And boy, let me tell you, when you can do that, you are free. You are karmically free. Because what draws us back to souls, because we incarnate over and over, what draws us back to people is both the positives, we want to be with them again because we love them, and the negatives. If we have unfinished business with someone, they're going to come back because we haven't finished it. So when you heal your relationships, number one, you're making this life much, much, much better, because carrying around blame and resentment and unforgiveness, it just lowers your vibration substantially, and then you can't do what you came here to do. It's wasted time, really. It really is. And it's going to impact your relationship with your twin, 100% guaranteed if you're a twin. And if you're not, it's going to impact your other relationships as well. And it will free you from needing to reincarnate with these same people. I mean, that's a big motivation, right? You're like, I don't want to see them again. Well, clean it up. Because they're not going to go away until you do. So you want to get to a place of, at best, neutrality. Neutral energy doesn't draw them back to you. It's like, all right, we're good, we're done. See ya, love you, thank you. As Rami says, it's been a slice. Or you can even do one better and get into a place of true appreciation for the lessons that they gave you and the love and the divine qualities that you were able to develop as part of that relationship. Let me just see if there's anything else I want to see. Yeah, I think that's all. So we really encourage you to have a higher perspective about all your relationships and let go of this victim energy. And by the way, that goes for you too. It goes both ways. So you can hold guilt on how you treated someone. And this one's a little trickier because you don't want to just say, oh, well, they caused it because it was their agreement. That's true on one level. On another level, of course, we want to say, what part did I play and what can I learn from this too? Because it's a two-way street. So if I treated someone badly, what soul lesson do I need to learn? Do I need to develop that divine quality of patience or forgiveness or whatever more? So it goes both ways. But we're going to be doing an exercise. Rami's going to talk for a while. We'll come back to me and we're going to be doing an exercise of getting some understanding about why we chose certain relationships and doing some healing. Okay.
So I'm going to talk about the relationship with our parents. Think in terms of for some of us, our relationship with our parents is pretty cool, and everything's dandy. And so for some of those people where things are dandy, in the past they were dandy too. Things were quite good, and so you have what's called secure bonding. The relationship was solid, starting from very young. And for some other people, things are fine now, and they've healed a lot of the underlayers, or they go into denial and they have they've stuffed their pain, and they work at doing nice between them and their parents and other people now. So the luggage is still stuck in us. It's just we're not conscious of it. We've suppressed it. So it's really common if you think in terms of now some people talk about relationship is a mirror of what goes on inside of us. Think in terms of if I have difficulties in my relationship now, it's a mirror between that person and I from this lifetime and previous lifetimes from our perspective. But it's also a mirror in terms of I have some unresolved issues from earlier this lifetime and maybe from other lifetimes too. So we're going to talk about relationship with our parents now a little bit. So as Jill says, we choose who we incarnate with. So we have this leftover stuff from previous lifetimes. So we have pain in terms of this lifetime. So let's go there a little bit into that aspect. Think in terms of we have some heartbrokenness at having been treated so badly. Let's work at healing a little bit of that. So go into your heart chakra again. And imagine your broken heart being healed in relation to what happened. Whether the difficulties were small, medium, large, or extra large. Let's work at healing them. So the forgiveness thing, it's not just forgiving them and whatever they did was okay. That's not it. It's forgiving. I release my holding on to suffering and feeling like a victim and so forth. I let go of that. One of the things that I struggled with is I had a really hard time with my mom growing up. I felt totally irrelevant, and so I just shut down and became small. And so when I left home, I had some unresolved issues with her, and she died while I was gone. And so I had this, I wasn't able to go to the funeral or anything. So I had this unresolved issues in me in relation to that. And so I suffered for a long time because I blamed myself. I maybe I did something wrong to her. Maybe she died because of me. So there was all this entangled luggage. So I had no clue how to deal with it. So at that point, I was going through a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I became trained later and more trained and became a family therapist and so forth. So even when I became a family therapist and in child protection, so working with families with all kinds of difficulties,
You're wobbling the videos.
I still didn't know. I still didn't know how to handle it. Like the whole field, I'd been scanning. How do you resolve these things? Unresolved wound, and there was not much out there in terms of that. So so then I found out that this little bit in terms of you go to the grave and you talk to them. So that's if your parent has died and you have leftover issues, that's something you can do. So you can choose to bring lunch if you want. You can choose to swear if you want. You can choose to talk about whatever. The goal is to unburden your heart and let it go. And you can choose to imagine they're talking to you and see what they have to say in terms of I'm so sorry that I hurt you. And they might have an explanation in terms of I did this because I had some wounds from my growing up and so on, right? So if you have leftovers, it's something you can choose to do. For some other people, we go talk to them directly. They're still alive, and we go talk to them directly, and we let them know, I still have these hurts. For some people that have hurt us, the last thing they're going to do is to admit that they played any part. They're going to tell you, you were the idiot, and nothing happened, and you're just a loser and a bum for coming and talk to me about this stuff, and get the hell out of here, right? So it's not that useful to go talk to them. So one of the aspects, when I was working with families where there had been sexual abuse and so forth, we were trying to figure out how best to handle these things. And what we arrived at is you prepare yourself ahead of time in terms of getting yourself stronger and healing your wounds. And once you feel ready, no matter what they're going to say is going to be okay, then you can go talk to them. No matter what this person says, the denial or whatever. But then it's not that much fun to go talk to them. So you take it a step further in terms of healing work. What Jill and I have learned, and other people have learned as well over time, is you can do all of that healing internally. So the others are choices, but think in terms of I have some leftover wounds, and I don't really want to talk to them about it. I just want to deal with it myself. My dad's 87 years old and he's going to die, and for me to burden him and blah, 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 you know, those kinds of things. So let's go inside for a little bit and healing some of those wounds in relation to your parents that they've caused you. So imagine that they have some grief. They finally learned that what they were doing was not okay, or they felt back then that it wasn't okay and they apologized and so forth, but it was still unfinished. And they take responsibility for this. And they're sorry for the hurt that they've caused you. Check and see if you're willing to receive. There might be a part of you that totally closed, your arms are crossed and etc., gritting your teeth. There's no way I'm going to forgive you. Not ready yet. That's okay. So you can work on this some and gradually work at releasing that. Because partly it's self-protection, and partly we can carry some hatred and so on. And partly we can prefer to hold on feeling victimized rather than becoming more vulnerable and forgiving. It's all okay. We are where we are. And imagine releasing them. Yes, you've hurt me. Yes, it really affected my life. And I let go of this. You take it a step further, and if you think in terms of previous lifetimes and you incarnated with them, guess what? I did some of those things to you. We might not remember. Generally, we don't remember. But let's just pretend for a few seconds. I've hurt you as well. Maybe this lifetime and previous lifetimes. And you work at healing that. So you can ask for Lords of Karma, Archangel Michael, to heal that for you, for them, and between you. As we do these things, part of what happens is we become more freed up. So there's more room for us to have a healthier relationship. So part of you holds on, or there's some parts of us that we're not aware, and so on. We work on it layer after layer after layer. In relation to the issue, in relation to my mom, I worked at healing that stuff forever. I put tons of energy into it, and I was stuck. I saw a whole pile of therapists and various types of helpers, and it didn't work. I connected with Jill, and there was a big part of me that wanted to heal that with her, for her to help me heal that, and it created major difficulties between us because I was yearning too much for particular things from her, and she wasn't in a place where she could give it to me because she had her own wounds and so on. So for me to be more fully healed, I can be more present in relationship. If the other guy runs away, then we need to ask ourselves, I didn't do anything wrong, honest, I didn't do anything wrong, but think energetically there's some things there that they can feel, they can smell. Maybe not consciously, but they can feel it. And they act accordingly. So they can run and avoid. You can be in the same room and they're drinking booze as a way of disconnecting from themselves, or just watching TV, or running for the hills to another continent, or whatever it might be. But there's some disengagement that happens. And as we heal ourselves more fully, and we become more and more solid and reliable and in our heart, it frees them up to go into a calmer place, into a deeper place gradually, and for them to become more present with us.
Did you want to talk about Ho'oponopono?
I can talk about it. Yeah, okay. So there's this exercise from Hawaii, an ancient exercise called Ho'oponopono. And what it does is a focus on forgiveness. So there's 4 lines. I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And you say that over. I have prayer beads, and so I do rounds of that every day, among other things. So the way it works more profoundly is, I'm really sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. I say that in relation to my mom, for example. And also I imagine her saying it to me. So you can spend some time, like 20 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever it is, imagining her saying it to you. I'm really sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you, in terms of the hurt that she caused you, or the person who sexually abused you or beat you up, the teenagers that scorned you when you were 14 years old or whatever. So, and you can imagine what they do in terms of that exercise is in terms of Hawaii is I ask for a healing between me and you, but I ask for the healing between me and all my ancestors in relation to you and all your ancestors. Me and my clan and my ancestors, and you and your clan, your ancestors. So you're doing it very broadly. And the more broadly we go, it's like we're helping to heal the energy around us very broadly. So you could choose to work on that on a regular basis, if you wish. Just experiment with these things and see what works for you. Some things you might run for the hills. Like the last thing a lot of people want to do is focus on healing childhood stuff. They'd rather do denial. They'd rather their beloved run away and just focus on them. I have nothing to do with it. They'd rather do alcohol or cocaine or just watch TV or be miserable and alone. But they're not conscious of it. It's just as a part of us that wants to run away from the pain and suffering. And so the goal is if there's some things that are going not so great in our world, let me look more deeply. Let me look within me in terms of my personality now, what I'm doing now. And my behavior. Let me look more deeply in terms of my inner child. I have some leftover wounds. In terms of the dance, how to dance that I learned in terms of from my family of origin and past lives and etc. And that's part of what we do. That's part of what we teach, how to heal those things more and more broadly within and between people, and to go so we can have a more and more calm, peaceful, healthy relationship.
So we're going to now do an exercise for healing any relationship. So Rami talked about the parents. So this is going to be visualization time. We're going to ask you to close your eyes and go within. So get to a place where you can get comfortable, have some privacy, and just close your eyes and go within. So we're going to ask now for your soul to come and join you more fully. Just allow. Feel the light of your soul filling you up more now. You can feel a warmth or a joy, a peace, very, very healing, just to connect with your soul. Just this is a very healing exercise. Now we're going to take a journey to your Akashic records. Your Akashic records are open to you entirely. Akashic records are a very amazing place to go. It's an energetic library as well as a healing chamber where you can do lots of internal work. And you can do this for yourself. So this exercise we're going to do now, you can do over and over again for any relationship. So ask your soul now to take you to your Akashic Records sanctuary. So it's useful to imagine a golden stairway going up. You're going up energetically. And just allow your soul to take your consciousness up this beautiful golden stairway. You're going up into the soul plane, into the higher realm. And imagine you see a doorway, and that doorway opens to you, and you go into a beautiful garden. This is your sanctuary. This is your Akashic Records sanctuary. You walk in with your soul. There's a beautiful pathway in front of you, and you can just look around. Everyone's looks different. You might notice trees or flowers, water. Just be here and receive this energy for a moment. Now just allow yourself to go along this beautiful pathway, and you see a temple ahead of you. And standing in the doorway of the temple is your Akashic Records guide. This is a high being, very, very wise, very connected to you. And the Akashic Record guide opens the door for you, and you go in. You are now in your personal sanctuary. And there's a beautiful room off to the side. You walk over there with your guide. And you see a book in front of you on a table. and this is your book of records. So together with your soul and your Akashic record guide, let someone come to mind, a person in your life now that you have some unfinished business with. Just allow that person's name or image to come to mind. Don't overthink it, because you can go back and do this for everybody. Just the first person that comes to mind. Now you're going to ask your guide to turn the book to a certain page, which they do. And on that page is written one word, and you're going to look down and see what that word is. And just take a moment now, with the help of your soul and your Akashic record guide, to feel into what is the message. What does this word signify in terms of this person? Just be in a receptive place. If you don't get any answers right now, that's okay. They will come to you later. Just receive whatever is there. It can be an image, a feeling, more information. Just receive. Don't worry about it. If you have emotion come up, just let your soul embrace you. It's all okay. And now we ask for your soul to assist you, and we bring in Archangel Michael and the Lords of Karma to heal in relation to this person, in relation to this word that you got, this aspect. Let's ask for a healing between the two of you. Releasing, forgiving. Let's ask for Kuan Yin to come in if you're comfortable with her. You can also work with Christ, Mother Mary, any being of compassion and love, to come in and heal any heartbreak between you and open up the channels, the beginnings of unconditional love. We ask for complete karmic healing between you and this individual. And we ask for any learning or lessons that are still to be learned to come to you easily and effortlessly with this person. And you can ask for them to release you from any karmic vows, agreements, or contracts that are ready to be let go of as you release them. And if there are any lessons still to be learned or any relationships still to be had, that is done for the highest good of all. And thank that person for coming, and you just let them go. Come back now into the Akashic record room, and we're going to do this with one other person. So again, allow your soul and your Akashic record guide to bring someone to mind that you have some unfinished business with. Just first thought, best thought. Remember, you can do this many times. Okay, and similarly to what we did before, have the Akashic record guide open your book and see what word is there. And allow your Akashic record guide and your soul to give you any more information about this that you need right now. And again, sometimes it will come later. That's okay. Just see what you can receive for now. You can ask, is there anything more I need to learn right now about this relationship? Now we ask for Archangel Michael, Lords of Karma, to release the two of you from any vows, contracts, or agreements that are no longer in your highest good. And we ask again for Christ, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, the high being of your choice, to come in and bring forgiveness, peace, healing, and unconditional love to the two of you. And we ask for all negative energy to be dissolved and released between you. I forgive you. I thank you for the lessons you gave me. And we ask again, if there is more relationship to be had, that it be done with so much grace and love and peace. And if it's complete, we just ask for it to be let go. We ask for your heart to be healed and their heart to be healed, and nothing but unconditional love. So for now, you can thank your Akashic Record Guide, thank your soul for being with you, and we're going to now close the book, go back into the main chamber of our sanctuary. Know that you are welcome back here anytime. This is your place, your private place for healing and learning. Your Akashic Record Guide is always here. And now we're going to walk out, back into the garden. The door is closed behind us. And with our soul, we walk through the garden to the doorway, open the doorway, and we walk down the golden staircase, coming back down into the earth plane, into our bodies. Our soul is still with us, and we rejoin our personality self sitting here. Before you open your eyes, just take a moment and see if there's any more information that wants to come to you now about either of these two relationships. Anything that is, any information, image, anything. Just receive for another moment. And thank your soul for being with you, and your soul can stay with you now. And you can open your eyes. And just take a minute and stretch, get grounded. See how you feel now compared to at the beginning. It's a really good idea whenever you do these types of journeys that you take notes, because you think you'll remember it. It feels very impactful, but we do forget. We're going to an altered state. We don't remember. So we encourage you after this journey that we just did to take some notes. And again, you can do that as many times as you want. It's fabulous for relationship healing. Anything you want to say?
No, that's all. So you have a variety of methods in terms of how to heal relationships that we've given you. So you experiment with these various things and see what works for you. And there's something a particular method you might love for now, and then later on, there's another method that comes up. So you test things out later as well, and go more and more profoundly, so that you can be more and more present in sacred relationship. There's this guy, this old Jewish guy from, I forget when, the 1750s or something. It's quite a long time ago. Martin Buber, he talked about I and thou. So in terms of sacred relationship, my spirit connecting with your spirit. So we're going more and more and more profoundly towards that as we heal these issues.
So we encourage you in all relationships to take the attitude of I, as a soul, hired them. I chose to have them come into my life for some reason. And as Rami said, you can use the methods we gave you today. You can find other ones that work for you. But we highly encourage you to do the inner work so that all your relationships, all of them, are healed. Because if you want to get with your twin flame, one of the main reasons that we're sitting here together after 8+ years on the journey is because we have done the inner work. That's why we're here. So we want that for you too. Whether you want to be with your twin or with a soul connection of some type, or even just to have that relationship with yourself, this inner work needs to be done. So you can work with us, you can work with others that have high integrity and good methods, but do the work. And this is just such a fabulous time on the planet to do it. And remember, our perspective again, that we're here not only for ourselves, but we're here to help humanity as advanced souls and twin flames. So we encourage you to really take up that mantle and that torch. Do this work for yourself, and also so that humanity can have a better future, because this is squeeze time right now, and we have a role to play. We do. So we wish you all the best. It was wonderful to be here with you today. If you want more from us, you can look in the link below, and we have some things going on that you might want to join us. And we send you all our best. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste. Take care for now.